we're so excited to still be playing. It's and then being able to do this at home is just an added bonus. But it's time of the year that every competitor loves to be in, and we're grateful and excited. And the four teams that we've got here, this is really high levels. Level of play that the fans should be, and the teams and the coaches, everybody should be treated to. So we're excited to get going.
Questions?
For Sarah and Danielle, much has been made about the team getting a chance to play here at home, but I guess I'm just wondering how normal is this week? I mean, given all the stakes, is this a pretty normal week otherwise, or does having the NCAA tournament here add some wrinkles that maybe we don't see?
I think it obviously, I think it's pretty similar to what any week in the Big Ten or whatever is, but being able to be here at home and in the field house is obviously makes it easier, and just being able to go to classes and still, I'm all online, but being a grad student. But for these guys, I think that really helps. I think if anything, it just adds extra excitement. Just seeing the field house covered in a blue court, that's always a special time of the year. It's the best time of the year.
Yeah, I think it's just like any other week, and I think it's just really exciting leading up to it, still being at home and knowing that you have a really great fan base behind you. I just think makes it a little more exciting.
Coach, playing Penn State, it's a good thing because you know who they are, but they also know who you are. Is that an advantage either way, and how excited are you to see somebody that you know pretty well?
To be honest, it's it doesn't matter who you're playing at this time, right? We are familiar with them, they're familiar with us, and that makes preparation a little bit different. I don't know. It would be different if we knew nothing about our opponents, but there's. This time of year, you're just trying to play well yourself. You're trying to understand your opponent, but you're trying to do things and play the way that you're capable of playing. We know these are two teams that we've come out ahead both times we've played, but it almost could be a coin flip of how it's gone. I think 4 of the 8 sets have been decided by 3 or less points, and they had a lead late in the 5th set at their place against us, and probably wish they had a couple of service back that they served out, or they might have won that. And it's two teams that play really, really, really hard, that has some big time athletes on each side, teams that just refuse to let the ball hit the floor. It should be a Jim Dandy.
I have a couple questions from a reporter. Dan or Sarah, could you talk about, let me preface with that the general, all session tickets sold out in 2 hours, less than 2 hours actually, on Monday. So can you talk about what that support from the fans means to you guys, and how much that helps you with playing here on your home court?
I think it's incredible, and it also doesn't surprise me at all. Our matches, we have fans out at the door hours and hours beforehand, and that's been the case through the whole season. And it doesn't matter how cold the temperatures get, they're still out there, and we don't take that for granted. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's amazing to have so much support behind you on the court, and you just know there's going to be a lot of people in the fans cheering you on, and it's a great feeling to know that there's so many people behind you.
Just excited to see Kelly that I've got to ask all these questions. As far as being at home, the ladies already talked about it. As far as, is it an advantage? Is it an advantage for you to be driving to work every day instead of in a hotel room and things like that? Is that good to be here?
I get to see my kids. I get to see my wife. Those are all nice things. My dog Ziggy. Get to see him every day. Those are all nice things. Yeah, I mean, it's we spend enough time in hotels. But it is. There's just so much gratitude and appreciation because you feel like any day it can be done. And if you're in this place where you're judging where you're playing, who you're playing, then you're wasting a lot of good stuff with these guys and with the fans and all that. So I'd much rather be home than anywhere else. But quite frankly, if they sent us to the moon, we'd say what time are we departing? Let's go do this together and try to do some epic stuff. And so, yeah.
Danielle, just curious how you're kind of approaching this tournament compared to, last year where you didn't get to play and you're obviously probably chomping at the bit to be out there with the team.
I think, like I said, this time is always the best time of the year. So I'm like Kelly said, every year you get into this time of the season and you're just really grateful and appreciative. And I think there's a deeper layer to that, being that last year I wasn't able to play and that this is my last season. And like he said, it can end at any moment, and I know that better than anybody, and personally. So there's that gratitude's been there all season, and it's definitely here right now.
Kelly, you've made and been asked a lot about the using two setters this year, and I was curious, with MJ and Izzy, if you can kind of speak to, the strengths, the differences of each, that they kind of bring to the floor.
Both of them, number one, they're pulling for each other, and this doesn't work if one of them's trying to take out the other. If they're trying to show one up, if they're trying to sabotage, if they're trying to grab a hold of the position and leave the other one behind. They're constantly looking for ways and communicating with each in a way to uplift the other. So number one, I think that's a really special quality that our whole team benefits from. They're both workers. They're in here multiple times a day, every day. Working on their skills, working on their craft, trying to get better, working on their connections, footwork, handwork, film work, all of those things. They're both great competitors. I don't know. There's probably way more similarities between the two of them than there are differences. To tell you the truth, it's amazing. The success that our team has been able to have up to this point, and combined, those two have set one college match prior to this year. But they've gotten better and better as the season has gone on. Their connections have gotten cleaner with each of the hitters as the season has gone on. The trust between the attackers and the setters has accelerated greatly over the course of the 3 or 4 months. And so, and that doesn't happen without the work that they're putting in.
Question, Diane?
So, on the same vein as Danielle, Sarah, this is your first NCAA tournament as well. How much does it help you to just have your teammates around you and also playing it at home?
Yeah, I think it's been an awesome experience so far. It's first postseason, and these girls have done an amazing job in helping, mentally be in the right place for each and every game, and it does make it a little sweeter that it is at home. And I'm really excited to see how we're gonna take this. So it's just really fun.
Additional questions? Oh, Mark.
For Danielle and Sarah, since you're here, I'll put you on the spot. Just kind of want to follow up on my question about Izzy and just kind of get your thoughts on one. When you're connecting with two setters, I assume does it take, twice as long? I mean, in terms of because they're not on the floor as much. Can you speak to that aspect and just kind of in general what You know, when you think of those two, kind of what kind of stands out from what you've seen of how they've kind of worked together?
I think you would think that it would take more time or whatever. Maybe it was initially a little more, you had to be a bit more patient in the beginning of the season, but there really hasn't been an issue of finding connections with setters. They're just both such selfless people, and like Kelly was saying, that they're a team within a team of the way they work together, and I see that really closely being that they're also captains, and I'm a captain with them, and watching the way they interact so much with each other is it's really cool. They're, like he said, they're their biggest supporters. They've gained so much confidence through the season, and they give that off to their hitters. And I think the team's done a great job of also trying to make sure that we're trying to make their jobs easier too, and create bigger windows. And we help them, and they help us.
Yeah, I think exactly what Dan said. Working for them, and they're working for us. And I think, you know, initially it may have been a little, you know, trying to figure out where you stand with all that. But I think it's been great working with them each day on the court. And, you know, in games, we're all working for each other, and it's fun to be able to make that connection, because when you do that in a game, it's the best feeling. And I've gotten that feeling with both of them so many times, and, you know, they're doing a great job.
I'll say what's really cool is, like, I sit next to the setters on the sideline when I'm out, and I get to see and hear what Kelly's telling them through matches and watch it play out through the season, and just how much they're leaning into learning, and just really selfless in the way they go about things.
Danielle used a comment, patience, and it's really a key thing with the system that we're running with the 6-2. It's and it takes a lot of time, and you have to have players. She also talked about leading into learning. Is that it just takes a lot longer when you're running a setter system, because that connection has to happen with and learning the tempo with each. And if you have somebody that just, you know, anybody can sabotage that with frustration, or just, you know, just throwing in the towel or whatever. I think it requires the staff to be patient, the players to be patient, and to continue to work to find that thing. You know, and patience is typically not a thing that coaches and players are real good at. But I don't think we're the type of team where we are right now, had we not been able to just continue to just dive into learning and continue to work through things and trust the process. I think these guys have been really, really good at just trusting the process and working through things.
Question from Diane.
One more from another reporter. Kelly, is there more pressure on this team as the reigning national champions?
Sarah, do you feel more pressure since we won a national championship last year? You know, Dan wasn't even on the court. This kid wasn't even at this school. It's you know, and you go on down the line. It's a you know, it's a bunch of people that are either freshmen or transfers, or people that might not have even played last year. Some of them had smaller roles. No, there isn't. Last year is just not something it's not taboo. We just don't talk about it. It's a new group the team dynamic is very different. Not better, not worse, just different. The personality is different. Why we win is different. You know, what makes us us is different. If we were going to compare ourselves and try to do what last year's team did, we wouldn't be able to do that, because that's a different group. I mean, it was a very, very old, experienced team last year. You know, besides Dan, this is still people that we're loaded with people that still have 2 or 3 years, that are more at the beginning of their careers than at the end. And it would take away the joy of what these guys are able to experience if it was about last year. If we were comparing ourselves to last year or trying to hold that as our standard, we're just trying to be the best that this group can be right now, every day.